What's good, Steeler Nation? My name is Jack Sperry, and this is Steelers Talk. Welcome into the show. Today, we're going to be doing trade rumors, buying and selling for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But before we get things going, I want you to go follow me on Twitter right now, guys. We're doing a promotion this week. If we can get 150 new followers on my Twitter account, you can find me at Jack_Sperry. I am going to put on black and gold face paint for the post-game show this weekend after the Steelers play the Buccaneers. So if you want to see my face completely covered in black and gold and all these awesome colors, go follow me on Twitter today. But don't just follow me to follow me, okay? I put Kenny Pickett all 22 analysis up there, Steelers film analysis. I live tweet every single Steelers game. So if you love the Pittsburgh Steelers, you love that sort of thing, go follow me on Twitter today. And then also, the first 10 people to follow me, I'm going to give a shout out on Sunday's show. So to show you that I'm serious, here are the last 10 people to follow me on Twitter. Again, I'm at Jack_Sperry. Jay Steele 127, what's up, man? Thank you for the follow. Drew Fields 1, thank you so much. Fairball FB, thank you so much for the follow. Ty Williams 06, love the picture of TJ Watt there. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this, but JD Iliamiar, yeah, that's definitely wrong, but thank you for the follow, man. 445 Mixter, thank you for the follow. Mike Janza, what's up, man? T Molinado 33, thank you so much for the follow. Chill Will 41226, thank you so much. And then Siglo, thank you guys so much. If you want to get a shout out on Sunday's episode, the post game reaction, go follow me on Twitter right now. Be the first 10 to follow me before Sunday. All right, now let's get into the good stuff. What you came here for, the Steelers trade rumors. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is I'm going to give you 3 players that I think that we could sell, and then 3 players that I think we could buy. Now, before we get into it, I want you guys to have an idea of what our draft capital looks like for next year's draft. We went over this the other day, but I want to give you guys a reminder. We have our own first-round pick, or we have our own pick for the first 4 rounds, and then we have no picks in rounds 5 or 6. Then we have our pick in round 7, then the Broncos pick in round 7 as well. So honestly, if we're going to be rebuilding, it's looking like that we might want to be sellers. So if that's the case, here are 3 guys I think we can sell. Number 1, Mitchell Trubisky. Now, I know a lot of you guys are Mitchell Trubisky supporters. You think that he should still be starting. But the reality is, right now, Kenny Pickett is the starter. And there are some teams out there, Washington, Carolina, that might be looking for someone to bring in at QB. So here are some reasons to trade Trubisky right now. Pittsburgh has 2 quality backup QBs right now in Mitchell Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. Personally, I would rather go with Mason Rudolph. He knows the offense more. He's been here longer. I think he's earned that loyalty. And Mitchell Trubisky, I think, might be a little bit more valuable on the trade market. And then the thing with Mitch is that he's a good NFL backup QB. I think he's more valuable on the trade market right now for a team like Washington, for a team like Carolina, maybe even New England. I'm not sure if we're going to get a ton for him, but I mean, at the end of the day, he is a good backup quarterback, a good bridge quarterback as well. He has some value on the trade market. And then he's also relatively cheap, so other teams are going to target him a little bit more because he's cheaper than some of the more expensive options out there at 3.66 cap hit. All right, so what I take for him is I take a day 2 or an early day 3 pick, hopefully something around round 4 or 5. If we could get a 3rd round pick, that'd be fantastic. But I want to be a little bit more realistic here. I think we're going to get maybe something in day 3 for him if we do unload him. But at the end of the day, we need picks. We need lottery tickets. We need these things in order to rebuild if that's the route that we're going to be taking this offseason. So I want you guys to let me know in the comments who you want or who would you rather dump at the trade deadline. Would you rather dump Mitchell Trubisky or Mason Rudolph? This will be the pinned comment on the video today. So, if there's an ad break, it's a perfect time to go in the comments and give your answer here. Type T for Mitchell Trubisky if you'd rather trade Mitch, or type R if you'd rather trade Mason. My number 2 player that we could unload is Larry Ogunjobi, the defensive tackle. Now, we brought him in as a free agent this year, and here's his production. He's gotten 12 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. He's a half sack, and then a PFF grade of 62, which is actually better than it was last year. So he's a veteran that's been in the league for a long time, and I think that he could have some decent trade value. We could get maybe something for him if we want to unload him. He's in the last year of his contract. We only signed him to a 1-year deal. So if we're going to be going full rebuild mode, we don't really need him on the roster. And I would take a late round pick for him. If someone offered me a 7th round pick for him, and you know, if I'm Omar Khan, the GM, and I'm saying we're going to rebuild right now, I would take an extra 7th round pick for Larry Ogunjobi. To be completely honest with you, I kind of like the guys that we have on the defensive line in the interior. We got Cam Hayward, DeMarvin Leal's been showing some good things. So at the end of the day, if we're rebuilding and we have this guy, this veteran that has some trade value, you know, and we can get a 7th round pick for him if we're rebuilding, then I'm going to take it all day long. Okay, guys, we have a special promotion here on Steelers Talk. We are trying to get to 19,000 subscribers here on the channel, and this is the deal I'm making with you guys. All right, right now we're about 800 subscribers away from 19K. If we get there, when we get there, we are going to get a bald cap with the hair fringes, you know, on the sides here, and I will wear that bald cap for an entire show and be Terry and bring in Terry Bradshaw, okay? So if you want to see me wear a bald cap for an entire Steelers Talk episode, go subscribe to the channel right now. You won't regret it. It'll be super embarrassing for me, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do it for you guys. You guys are the best. Okay, number three player, Chase Claypool. Now, I know that Chase definitely has his supporters out there, and I understand that. He's got a ton of potential. Let's look at his stats throughout his career. In 2020, he was fantastic, really, as a rookie. 62 receptions, 873 yards, 14.1 average with 9 TDs. Then last year, the touchdowns kind of went down quite a bit, but the production was relatively there. And now this year, no touchdowns. He's had a couple contested drops this year. You know, the completion to target ratio is not where, you know, you want it to be. And then for the career stats, obviously when you put that all together, it's a pretty decent collection of stats. But at the end of the day, for me, I think we could trade him for a potential day 2 pick. And really right now, if we're rebuilding, if we're looking to get more cornerbacks, more linebackers, more offensive linemen, and Claypool's just not getting the job done, for me, if someone offers me a 2nd round pick for him, I am taking that right now because he does have trade value, because he is still young. He still has a huge frame, good speed, but the route running right now is just not really there. He's not really getting open against man coverage, and that's really hurting his production. Okay, guys, it's at that time in the show to talk about our sponsor. It is BetUS. It is our sportsbook partner here at Chat Sports, and they're offering a great deal for you guys right now. They are offering a 125% deposit bonus for you guys on $100 minimum down. So if you put on $100 to $600, BetUS will give you 125% of that money back to you. So I don't know about you guys, but I love sports betting. You guys can bet on the Steelers games. You can bet on the AFC North standings. You can bet on whatever you want. If you guys love sports betting, BetUS is perfect. Our promo code is Steelers125 to get that 125% deposit bonus at chatsports.com/bet. Okay, now that we've gone over the guys that the Steelers can sell, let's look at the guys that they could potentially buy here at the trade deadline. I'm very excited about this, but the first thing that I want to tell you guys is that we got about $7.9 million left in available cap space. So that has to be a part of the equation here. We can't take on a massive contract for draft picks. If we're going to take on a bigger contract, we got to trade a bigger contract. So at the end of the day, I want you guys to keep that in mind. The first name on the list is Christian McCaffrey. Now, I know this seems crazy because it is, but at the end of the day, I have seen this thrown around Steeler Nation, Steeler Twitter over the last couple of days, and this is kind of the common thread that I've been seeing in terms of an offer. We would get Christian McCaffrey, and we would trade Najee Harris, our first-round pick 2 years from now in 2024, not next year's, and then we would trade our third-round pick next year. I've seen this in a couple different areas, and personally, first of all, it's just not going to happen. Second of all, I'm not sure if we really need to make a trade for Christian McCaffrey right now. And here are 3 reasons why. Number one, he gets more expensive after this year. Right now, he's at about $8 million or so in cap, so he's in debt or in the the cap hit. But then next year he goes to like $19 million. So if we take him on right now, we're going to have to make some accommodations next offseason. And for a running back with our offensive line, I'm not sure if I want to do that. Number 2, we need to build the O-line first, okay? Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, in my opinion, they're fine. They are fine, but it's our offensive line that's the issue. And it's really Matt Canada's zone run scheme that's a terrible fit for the personnel, and we should really be running more power run schemes, trap run schemes, gap run schemes, rather than the zone that we've been running. But Matt Canada is just an idiot. He just sticks to what he wants, and he tries to mold the players around his system instead of the system around the players, which is the worst thing that he could possibly do. But I don't want to go on a Matt Canada rant right now, so we'll move on to the team believes in Najee Harris. Okay, they invested a first-round pick in this dude. And he's extremely talented. We saw that incredible run against the Browns to get in the end zone when he completely bull rushed somebody. This guy's powerful, he's fast, he's talented, and so is Jaylen Warren. So I don't really think that our running backs are the issue right now, and I don't think trading and giving away some really valuable draft capital is going to really fix the issue. So although Christian McCaffrey's a big name, and he would definitely sell tickets, all these sorts of things, I don't think it's the right move for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now let's move on to kind of the bigger news of the day, is that William Jackson III has requested a trade from the Washington Commanders, and this is definitely really, really intriguing to me. I really love William Jackson as a fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He requested a trade from Washington this week. He sees himself more as a man corner instead of a zone corner, which is pretty much all Washington runs is zone. And William Jackson really had his best years, his first couple years in the league when they were running more man. And Tomlin puts a high value on solid man cornerbacks. And William, he's still relatively pretty young, but let's look at his PFF grades over the last 4 years. They haven't been great. In the Ron Rivera era where they run a lot of zone, he has not played well. And right now he's letting his emotions show, and he's saying, I want out. And, his PFF grades and his production were so much better when he was first coming into the league and he was allowed to be the dominant press man corner that he has the potential to be. Now, I would give up a 4th-round pick for William Jackson III. Like I said, I'm going to be very cautious with how I spend our draft picks because at the end of the day, we're probably going to be rebuilding next year. So those draft picks are extremely valuable. But when you look at a guy like William Jackson, who has a lot of talent, who can really make plays on the outside there and really shut down guys in man coverage, that's exactly what Mike Tomlin is looking for here in Pittsburgh. And really, Steelers defense has been the best when they've had reliable man corners, and Will Jackson can definitely do that. So I want you guys to let me know in the comments section. Do you want to see the Steelers trade for William Jackson III? Type Y for yes or type N for no. And finally, we're going to be talking about Houston linebacker Grugier-Hill. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. We looked it up before the show. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. But at the end of the day, I don't love the fit here, but here are some reasons why we would want to trade for a linebacker. Devin Bush has been atrocious. He looks overweight. He looks slow. He's missing tackles. He's blowing assignments in zone coverage. I mean, I can't believe this is a first-round pick that we're talking about here. I mean, he used to be pretty darn decent, and now it just seems like he's lost his step. And then Grugier-Hill has a ton of experience, so bringing him in to replace Devin Bush would give us an experienced vet to go alongside Miles Jack. And then Pitt can afford him. We can afford him. It's 3.9 cap hit for the rest of the season. So at the end of the day, we could bring him in, and it would be feasible financially. But to me, this is definitely not the move. Grugier-Hill is literally the dead last in PFF's linebacker grades this year. He is dead last. But let's look at more cons here. We could sign a very similar talent in Alexander Johnson for extremely cheap on the free agent market. And so it doesn't really make sense to be trading draft capital away for somebody that's not very good, and we could get somebody else at a very similar value for no draft capital. So it doesn't really make sense to me in that way. And then he's a free agent next season. So if we bring him in a rebuilding year, he's going to be a free agent. So it's like, why would we bring in someone like this to play for us in a rebuilding year and then just toss him out next year and then we're down one more draft pick? It makes no sense to bring him in because he's going to be a free agent next year. And then he's been terrible. I've already mentioned that he is the last graded player or linebacker in the PFF database right now. Look at that, 30.3 this year, and then it's just been getting progressively worse over the last couple of seasons. He had a couple good years to start his career, but it appears that this guy is completely washed. There's a reason why he's on the trade block right now, and I think it would be a massive, massive mistake if the Steelers go and get this guy. He's definitely not worth the move, and to me, the Steelers just absolutely cannot afford to make this big of a mistake. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's show. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end. You are such a real one for making it here. And if you made it to the end of the show, type real one in all caps to let me know you made it to the end of the video. Okay, guys, that'll be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it, Steeler Nation. And until next time, peace.